You either love him or you hate him. But on this video, I'm gonna break down what I think we all, including myself, can learn from Tekashi 6ix 9ine.
Indy Jones, back with a trendy flow. I'm still trying to find my voice in this here scenario. Here we go.
Yo, what's going on? Thank you guys for checking out this video. My name is Ruslan. I'm a hip-hop artist, creative entrepreneur. I run a small mom and pop shop label called King's Dream Entertainment, based in San Diego, California. I've been a full-time creative for a couple years now, and I got this new series I've been experimenting with, talking about different things we can learn from artists that are in the mainstream. And this is not a video to dissect the quality or the merit of somebody's music. I think that is subjective to taste and personal preference and timing and waves and all that kind of stuff. When it comes to the case of Tekashi 6ix 9ine, I think there's a lot to learn. In my previous video on Cardi B, I talked about the new wave of artists that come in not necessarily known for their music, but known for something else besides their music. Cardi B, we talked about that. We talked about her ability to transcend from stripper to reality TV star to Instagram personality and then to artist. And I think with Tekashi 6ix 9ine, he's a part of this new wave of how artists are getting on and building their platforms in a unique, different type of way. We're in the era of media, we're in the era of attention, and whoever can get people's attention and direct it is gonna be who can build platforms faster. So if you don't know who Tekashi 6ix 9ine is, he's an artist from Brooklyn. He has rainbow colored hair, a rainbow grill. He's affiliated with the Blood Street Gang, and he's known for a lot of controversy, yet simultaneously, I believe he has, at the time of this video, he has 6 records on the top hot singles Billboard charts right now. So music is different. It's not the wave of the lean rap drug style music. It's very aggressive. It's very reminiscent of like a 90s Onyx, real violent type stuff. But he also uses social media tactics to really get people's attention and direct it. And I think that's the first thing, if there's anything that I can learn from Tekashi, is the ability to dominate people's attention and be in their face. Now, for some people, there's just certain things they won't do. And I guess some of these things I haven't been willing to do, but he dyed his hair rainbow color. He put tattoos all over his face. He does wild things so that when you see him, you instantly have to give a remark. And if you've ever heard of Seth Godin in his book, Purple Cow, it's not always about the best product or the worst product. The products that oftentimes rise, hopefully for quality, but not always, are the ones worth giving a remark about, worth stopping and saying, man, what is that about? And so that's a very great book to read. I actually initially heard about it from Jay-Z on the Oprah Winfrey Show. I read it, I recommend it. But the ability to get people to make a remark, the ability to stop. And so from his appearance to the way he navigates social media, he gets people to give a remark, to say something. You have to feel something. It's similar to Kanye. It's a polarizing statement. And that's something that I'm not always the best at in terms of getting people's attention. Seeing a place, I could see a need in the marketplace, but I don't always see how to get everybody to pay attention to one specific thing. And Tekashi 6ix 9ine, I think, does a fantastic job of just getting people's attention. And then the byproduct of attention is then people will then check for your music or check for this or check for that. He's a master of social media and being able to direct people what he wants them to direct people to, which brings me to my second point. The second thing I think we can learn from Tekashi 6ix 9ine is his ability to control the narrative. A lot of these new wave rappers, from the Trippie Redds to the XXXTentacion's, obviously we're talking about Tekashi 6ix 9ine, they're able to drive their own narratives. Meaning, when something controversial happens, the first thing he does is he hops on Instagram Live and he gives his version of the story. Before it hits World Star, before it hits any of the blogs or the gossip sites, he's always on giving his exact rendition of what happened, and he's driving his narrative. He's using and finessing social media to tell his story the way he wants to tell his story. And he doesn't take himself too seriously. He's willing to laugh at himself. He's willing to poke fun of himself, but he's constantly driving the narrative. Another way that he drives the narrative, if you watch his Breakfast Club interview, I think it was one of my favorite Breakfast Club interviews, is he goes in and he controls where the conversation is going to go. He does that on social media, but if you watch the Breakfast Club interview, he's not afraid to go into uncomfortable topics. This is someone that's been accused of being a pedophile. This is someone that has all kinds of credibility issues with their gang affiliations. This is someone that has rainbow-colored hair and is consistently in some type of drama with somebody, and he's never afraid to attack the subjects head on, and he has an explanation for everything that may be confusing or controversial about him. So he's essentially using controversy to direct people's attention into whatever he wants it to, which obviously right now is his music. I think there's a lot to learn there from a social media standpoint and being able to hack culture and be a master of people's attention, which is a commodity, and also the ability to drive your own narrative and tell your own story the way you want it to be told. People say this about you. No, this is what it really is. I'm going to clear that up. I'm not afraid to say anything about it. 10, 15 years ago, you'd have to get a PR person. You'd have to get somebody for damage control. Nowadays, these kids just go right on Instagram Live. I remember seeing the video of XXXTentacion getting knocked out in San Diego. Immediately after it happens, boom, he goes on Instagram Live. He explains it. Y'all caught me slipping? Yeah, so what? I got a gang of clout, da-da-da-da. There's a method to the madness. It's not just them doing it crazily. Maybe it's instinctive and they're not thinking as tactically as I'm describing it, as I'm looking back in hindsight of the way they maneuver, but there's definitely a method to the madness, and it's effective for communicating whatever it is you're trying to communicate. When I first stumbled across Tekashi 6ix 9ine, it's about, oh man, I'd say about 9 months ago, 8, 9 months ago. And the first thing I noticed was his Instagram. His Instagram was very colorful. His Instagram had polarizing images of him with colorful rainbow hair, surrounded by 50 Bloods in Brooklyn, dancing and rapping. It wasn't even the song that got my attention. It was the visual. Are you thinking through your visuals? Are you thinking through the first impression? Are you thinking through, is this gonna cut through amongst all the other music and all the other stuff out there? What I'm not saying is troll, right? That's the new thing. When someone can get somebody's attention, they're trolling. I'm not talking about pressing people's buttons exclusively to press people's buttons. I think Tekashi 6ix 9ine is really who he says he is, but what he's doing, and I've heard it described like this before, is in terms of building an audience, as a hip-hop artist, you essentially gotta be the WWE wrestling version of yourself. Like, you have to take who you really are and amplify it. Not to build a fake persona, but to take who you really are and amplify it so that it can be a bigger, more polarizing personality to get more people's attention, to point them to whatever you want to point them to. And I think Tekashi 6ix 9ine does a fantastic job of that. So it's easy to criticize the new wave of rappers. It's easy to point out how crazy they look and the face tattoos and all these different things. But I think it's important for us to understand the things that they're doing that are working and figure out which of these things are we willing to incorporate in our own way of telling our story. So I want to hear from you guys. How many of y'all even keep up with Tekashi 6ix 9ine? What do you guys think about the things I pointed out here? The ability to get people's attention and the ability to navigate his own story, which ultimately brings more eyeballs to his music. Let me know in the comments section below. Leave me a comment, like. Let me know what other artists you'd like me to do. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Peace.
I am so incognito, far away from him, incognito, came in one way, incognito, not leaving the same. I ain't going with the top down, waiting for the countdown, all grace, no wishes, no loans, no interest, feels good, Tony, running late here unannounced. Nothing worse than a game with no crown. And I don't fit in and pretend it's blend like a front out of town. God stepped in and settled the account. Now you don't know what to do with the pounds. Take a view of the house, make it true till it's ours. I'm producing amounts, it's a nuisance, the house. I am so ouch.